even though I'm a straightforward kind of person, as a female, I think this is part of my female piece, that telling someone, being direct about how I feel on a level that may hurt their feelings, that's kind of pushing.
Well,
We don't want the skills that are needed to be able to engage in those
I think we don't want to deliver bad news.
No,
To some extent.
No.
The nice syndrome. We're back to the nice syndrome.
Do say that. We call them by a bad name.
That's
Yes,
right. That's right.
yes,
That's
yes.
right. That's right.
Yes, yes.
And I have been called that name in lots of
Strong women.
Yeah.
Being
Not just in the
direct
workplace.
Strong women, absolutely.
leads to being called the B word.
Yeah.
Right.
Then why not
Yeah.
duck away from it?
You know, and can I just add to this story, because I was coming off of a relationship working for a man that I had a very direct, things happened that I didn't care for. And I would say it's not about hurting people's feelings, but it's about clearing the air. And in relationships, it's constantly clearing away, there's misunderstandings and what have you. I felt betrayed by him, by something that he did. We talked about it, came to rest, closure.
Right.
When I worked for her, she said, I hope we have the same kind of open relationship that you had with him. She wasn't able to handle that. And it wasn't about you did this or you did that, but here is how, but negotiating.
And it's not just at the workplace. This can be in all kinds of organizations where things can happen between people that you have collegial relationships or friendships with, and a lot of things go unsaid
Yes.
that need to be said.
Yes.
So is
Well,
it about
you know,
courage?
but
Is it about
Tony, to that point, I think that women, when I entered the workforce decades ago, it was all about you had to network because women needed to support one another. So we formed, because men have always networked. They had golf, they have martinis, and everything else, and that's changed as
And the
well.
men's room.
And the men's room, and certain social clubs.
And
so
their
women,
way of being, too.
right? And women form those beginning networks, and that we've had for decades now. But they were all about supporting one another in this informal kind of networking way that's very different. If you hurt a woman's feelings, for example, or a colleague or a coworker or even someone who you don't work with directly, you don't go out afterwards and play golf.
Right.
Which
Right.
it seems like
Right.
men,
Disassociate from that.
you just say, oh, I don't know if I can be in that relationship
so
anymore.
therefore, there is a very deep emotional content to this. I'm also thinking in terms of how we deal with hierarchy.
Well,
People say that leading women is like herding cats.
Well, I think.
So how did that express? How
Or when you
how
have
is
a
that
woman
expressed?
that says, I'm good with the hierarchy,
Yeah.
and I want to be at the top, she is often, called derogatory names, or her tactics or strategies for getting there are seen as male.
But there are a
Which
lot
is
of women who are
interesting.
very conciliatory and go along to get along and that sort of thing. I think when you have, I've heard that expression.
Did they make it
that's-
to the top?
Well, no, they're not.
Do they?
Yes, some of them do. Some of them
Nice,
do.
really
Well,
nice women.
well, first of all, how far is this elevator going up to the top? And when we talk
Yeah,
about
right.
top,
There's a lot of
it's not going
ceilings.
that
There's
far.
ceilings for
There are a lot of
everybody, but
ceilings.
for women, it's
But I
worse.
think so. The other part of this too, we're talking one side in terms of, and I certainly agree that there are a lot of women who are not direct and are not forthcoming. But what happens when you are forthcoming, and not in an attacking way or what have you? Can you talk about and negotiate the relationship? There are misunderstandings. There are, differences in expectations and these kinds of things. Do we have the guts to
Right.
handle
It's
those
about
kinds of
courage and
situations?
taking risk. What would you suggest? If a young woman comes to you and talks to you about some of these issues, how would you counsel her? Because where does authenticity come from? I think it starts by being able to listen to your own voice. not To answer
Absolutely.
your question.
No,
but
well,
you-
no, it's listening. It's listening to your own voice. It really is. But it's understanding what your values are, understanding the person who has done you wrong. And you really have to take ownership of that. If someone has done you wrong, not only just taking it personally and saying, all women are like that.
Yeah.
But actually being able to speak up and take the prudent risk to suffer the consequences.